Alrighty, I'm gonna give everyone about another minute to hop on, and then we'll get started at about 11:03. Alrighty, we are going to go ahead and hop in. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Today we're going to be talking over how to actually use Lone Wolf. We're going to be going from the opportunity and command to Lone Wolf. We're going to go over how to add additional parties to your Transact if you need to, how to set up, how to edit your documents, how to add clauses, how to set up personal templates if you want to do that. So we are going to be going through all those things. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to download anything you need to download out of DocuSign. If you have not already connected your Lone Wolf account to Command, we are not going to be going over that today. But get with me afterwards and I can help you with that if you are needing to start there. So if you have a question about connecting, I would love to hear it after the class. We're not going to take time on that today. But we are going to be working through this together. If you have any questions as we move through, please let me know. I'm going to be doing my best to monitor the room and monitor the chat and work through everything on the computer up here. So if I miss anything, just yell my name. But we are going to start. Well, theoretically, we're going to start. Alrighty, we are going to start in our opportunities. Need to remember where I made my little dummy one real quick. Alrighty, so in your opportunity, just like you did with DocuSign, you're going to put any information you already have in the opportunity. Anything that you have in here already will pull over into the Transact when we go to Lone Wolf. So we'll set our checklist type. And then after you do that, you can sync with your e-provider. Right now, you're going to have the option to sync with DocuSign or Lone Wolf. DocuSign will go away as an option after the 14th. Also, don't start anything in DocuSign right now. So we're going to select Lone Wolf, and it's going to bring us over to our Lone Wolf account. Alrighty, and so when you open up your Transact initially, you can do it a couple of different ways. If you want to go ahead and add the paperwork you want to add, you can do it that way. They have the different drop downs. You are going to have access to all of the documents for which you are a full member of the board of that state. If you are licensed in both states and you are missing one of those documents, you need to get with the board and see what you need to do with them to make sure they can release those documents to you. They're the only people who can do that. We do not have the ability to release those documents. Or we have built out templates already. And so you can click these little 3 buttons at the top. You can select apply template, and you can, and this little bar are enemies. And you can select which one you want to use. There's a couple of these that we are working through right now, like this one that says do not use. Don't use that one yet. I'm still working on it. But this is a Tennessee residential listing. So I'm going to select that drop down. It's going to tell me what all documents it's going to populate into the Transact. And I will say apply. Oh, sorry. I missed a big part. If you are a member of if you're a team member and there is someone who you need to add into the transaction parties, like if you have a TC who works on the whole transaction, if you have a team member you need to add, do that before you add any documents, because they're only going to be able to see anything that is added prior to them being added to the Transact. So before you add your document, you're going to go over here to parties and you can add your TC, you can add other members of your team. So you can, if you already have them saved to your contacts, you can just type their name in there, or you just hit create new, put in any information you have for them, and you can select save to contacts. You can also add your broker here. If there's anything in there that they're going to need to sign, you can go ahead and add the broker as a party, but you select their role. So if it's a TC, you'd put it as an admin. You can select them as the listing broker, anyone you need to have in there who either you would like to be able to view the opportunity, or you would like to be able to send copies of the paperwork. So if your TC gets a copy of everything after it's signed, you add them to a party, and I'll show you how to set it up to where they get the notification after everything's signed. But you add people to the opportunity here in the parties field right here. And then you'll add your documents. But it's just like DocuSign. If you add them after you add the documents, they're not going to see anything. You have to add them before you add the documents, because they only see anything that has been added to the Transact after they were entered into it. And so then we're going to go through how you can edit the documents in here. So this is our preset compliance checklist in here right now based off the forms that are coming in. You can also add anything extra if you have anything a little wonky going on, or you have something extra you need to have in there. But you can start by selecting one of the forms. Don't know how to get rid of that. And it's going to, and then, so it's going to bring up just the form you click on initially. But if you want to go ahead and start editing several at a time, you go down here to grab from transaction, and you can add all the ones you want to work on at this time. So if you want to throw this on there, just kind of click whichever ones you want to send in this first initial signing. And sorry, my computer is running a little slow, so there's a little bit of a delay. But so the ones that I've added, hit the plus sign, they're up here for us to edit, and they're all going to be here for us to start typing through. And so when you are, anything that you edit in one field that's like a recurring field is going to automatically update in any similar recurring field. So I changed that to Keller Williams Realty instead of Keller Williams Realty Memphis Central. When we go down here, it's already updated that to just be Keller Williams Realty. So if you change it anywhere, if it's a similar recurring field, it's going to change everywhere. Also, additionally, I know we were having some issues with agents in the business centers having the address revert back to the Ridge Lake address after they click out of it. From what I have seen, that has been resolved. So I just changed it to the Germantown address and it stuck. So that issue should be resolved. I turned that into Lone Wolf last week and they've been working on that. So if you see anything that's glitchy, let me know, because I have a connection with the Lone Wolf support team and they've been super helpful for getting anything fixed we have to fix. And so see, I changed the address, it updated it down here. So you can edit everything on the forms right here. And then if there's something like, let's say on all of your listing agreements, you put the same clause and everything. Any blank that has more than one line, you can add a clause to. And so if you click in it, you can do add clause and you can create a new one. And you can save it. And so if that's something that you're going to use regularly, you can add it as a clause. And so when you go to add it again, you can go to your personal clauses and that's already there. So you don't have to type it in every single time. And that'll be saved not just to this transaction, it'll be saved to your account as a whole. So that's a great way to save some time for the things that you always, like if you have the same special steps that you put in every listing agreement, you can save that as a clause and just kind of throw it in there so that you have that going forward.
Say you use your typical closing costs
Mhm.
clause, but that amount changes for each transaction. Could I put that verbiage in there and then go in there?
Yes. So Audrey was asking that if you have a clause that you add every time, but it has like a variable in it, like you have the exact same verbiage, but sometimes like the amount changes, you can go ahead and add the clause and then you can go in and actually type in there and put whatever you need to in there. But it essentially just puts all the big part of it, and you can change like little things here and there. It takes out a lot of time. And then I see a question in here. Danielle, have you entered your NERDS ID? That might be why it's bringing up the wrong documents, but we can connect with that offline and see if that's working for you now.
Hey, Leslie.
Hold on just a second. What do you say? Yeah, so I named it test, and then the description was test, test, test. So the title, so Sasmito is saying that when she's trying to add a clause, it's asking to give it a title and a description. And so like the title is just going to be like whatever you typically call it. So if it's like, I don't know, like special, if it's your, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to type and like hold a microphone and not doing great. But so if it's your special step that you always put in, the description is just what the clause is. So I'm just going to throw something in there right now so I can not try to type and talk at the same time. But that's going to save it as, so you know what it's called. You can click on that one, but the description is just what the actual clause is. And so that's my fancy little clause there. Someone on Zoom was asking a question.
That was me. I was having an issue with the expiration date. I put one date in, then I tried to go back and change it, and it kept reverting back to the original date. Is there a way, or how do I get past that?
I do believe they have fixed that because I turned that in last week as well. Let me see. I'm going to initially put this in for July 8th. I'm going to click out of it and then let me change it. Yeah, I believe they fixed that issue.
It's the term one, not the marketing, the term.
Oh, no, they're still working on that one. I have turned that one into support. I am waiting to hear that they have resolved that, but they are aware of it and they are working on it.
Okay, thanks.
Hold on, let me try something. So it looks to me like if you click on the month and select a date, it reverts back to the first. But if you click on the day and select the date, it sticks.
Say that one more time.
So I did just save it and it did stick. So, but if you click in the month, for whatever reason, it's reverting back to the first. But if you click in the day and select the date, it is sticking. And they are fixing on that. They are working on that, but just make sure you click in the date field. They're separate boxes and select that for now until they get that fully fixed, but they are working on correcting that right now. Right. So after you've edited all the forms you need to edit and you've dropped in whatever you want to drop in there, you hit this prepare signing button. And you want to just name it to name it listing docs, and then you can select which folder you want it to come back to once they're signed, and you'll hit create. And then yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're using the Adam was asking about the property condition disclosure. Yes, sellers can use that fully. It's fully usable in Lone Wolf. It will not let them turn it in without checking a box on every single line. You do have to make sure that if you don't use the office's templates and you're adding the document yourself, that you are using the Authentisign version. There are two versions in there. One does not work. The one that does not say Authentisign doesn't work. The Authentisign version is the one that actually works when you send it to your client. So make sure you're using that one. I have turned that in. The exemption is still needing them to upload an Authentisign version. I have spoken to Lone Wolf about that, and they are getting with TAR to get that version so they can get that uploaded. And so under the signers, you will add your participants. You can, and then the easiest way is to add from the transaction. So you'll select the seller and the listing agent. And then this is also, if you hadn't already added them to the transaction, you can add your TC here as well. So I'm going to put in a test person real quick. You can also automatically add them to the transaction when you add them here as well. And so I'm going to change their type from remote signer to reviewer. And so now you have, oh, I forgot to check everyone else. So we're going to add all these people. And then it will go ahead and auto-populate all pre-mapped signatures. So it'll have the place for the agent to sell, or for the agent to sign, for the seller to sign. If there's anything that anyone needs to check anywhere, that'll automatically show up. It only puts these initials in one box on the lockbox agreement, which is awesome. You can drag those if you need to before you send it out. And then once everything is ready to send off,
Settler sign or initial in both spots.
oh, okay. You can just delete one of those if you need to. But yeah, if there's too many boxes because you only have one seller or whatever, you can always, anything is movable or deletable. It just automatically maps to where TAR has told it to put boxes. But when you're going to send them, you can set here when you want it to expire, how many days you want it to, like how often you want it to remind people. And then when you hit this customize invite, you can send a separate email to each person that you're going to have it go to. If you have the same message you send every time, you can save the message after you type it in so that you can import it at a later date so you don't have to remember what you type every single time. So if it's always like, hey, please sign these documents real quick, you can save that. And then the next time you pull one of these up, you just hit import and you can bring that message in. But you can see that it is going to every person that was on the transaction. So I have my TC here as a reviewer, so they're going to get an email as well. And so we're going to save that, and then we're going to send. And then I'm going to, not do whatever I just did. And so I had set this email address up to be my TC. And so each person gets the email saying that it's time to sign. And so I'm going to go sign it real quick on each side as the little fake me I made. And it is super user friendly for your clients. Like I had it come to my phone for the little test that I'm doing. All they do is just hit the little things and then they get the notification that they finished it. And then what other email address did I use for the other side? All right, and then your TC can see it on their end. And then once everyone's accepted everything, they're all also going to get copies of it. So that way your TC doesn't have to guess if everyone signed it and they're part of the transaction without having to like go in and check on every single one. So if you have a lot of transactions going at once, this is a lot easier for them to keep track of who they need to go remind to sign on things. So another thing that you can do as well, if there is a document that you have received from your co-op agent, you used to be able to do this in dotloop. We couldn't do it in DocuSign. They now have an upload by email option. So this is the email address that you send that document to. So essentially you would copy this, go into your email, compose an email to that email address, and then you put the document here and it'll automatically bring it into your Transact. Yes, Jan. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jan is saying that she was able to use this from Gmail specifically, but not her mail app on her phone. I am going to turn that into, I don't have a pen up here. Will you email me that so I remember? I'm going to turn that into Lone Wolf to let them know. Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Jan was saying that when you do it this way, you get a copy of the email and the document in here. So just you have that extra paper trail. Um, and so what else? The other thing I wanted to show you guys how to do is how to set up your own templates. So in your Lone Wolf account, you'll go when you back out of your transaction and you're at this main page, you can go to this templates page and select add a template. And you can do a couple of different kinds of templates. So you can either do it for the parties you want to automatically go into all your transactions. So if you have a list of people who you always have to add, you can create a template for that. If you have a to-do list that you follow to the T for every transaction, you can make a to-do list template, or you can make a template for a form. So I'm just not being super creative. But you put it in there as a personal template. And then if you just want to remember what it is, you can be like, to do. Just whatever you're making the template for, you'll put that in the description so you know what it's for. And then when you hit create, you have the option to select if you're doing it to set parties for all your transactions, if you're doing it to set a to-do list for all your transactions, or if there is a certain form you want to go in and create a template for because you always use it that way. If you want it to go ahead and, have your whole folder for each transaction in a template because you know that you put the same things in all of your listing paperwork on all these forms, you can go ahead and build that out. And so when you would go to select the template when you start a transaction, instead of choosing one of the office ones, you could select one of your own. So you'd click these three buttons up here, you'd apply the template, and that's where you can add, like if you have the ones that say office next to them are the ones that we've made. Anything that doesn't, those are the ones that you've made for yourself. So like if you have your to-do list, you can click that there or whatever. That's how you can add your own templates instead of using the office's templates if you have specific forms that you want to set up for yourself that you don't want to have to type in every single time. Let's see. Oh, another thing. So let's say you had a signing, but they hadn't completed it yet. So in your transaction, there's the paperwork tab, there's the signings tab, which shows what you've sent and how many people have signed it. If it hasn't been signed yet, you can edit them. So if you send something and then immediately realize you forgot to do something, you can go in and edit it and change anything you need to. You can also, if you need to, you could go ahead, you could duplicate it. On this page, you can set the signing order. If you meant to it automatically goes to everyone at once unless you do the signing order. So you can always do that. Like if you don't want if you have your TC on there and you don't want them to have to get notifications until everyone's signed, you can put them as number 3 so they get everything last. But there's a bunch of different things you can do there. And then there's also the signing tool. So if you have to add anything that didn't automatically map in, you'll do that with the signing tools here. And then you can also That's not the right place. Hold on. So once you have it signed, if you sent it all in a packet and then you want to break it up, you'll hit these three dots right here, and then you can do split and rotate. And anywhere you put a little line, it'll split it into two separate PDFs. If you had more pages, you could split it into every single page separate, but all you have to do is hit that little line there. And then you can, if you want to put it back together, you uncheck it and then you check it again to split it up. And so if we split it and save it, you should now have, I don't think I saved it right. Hold on, let me try that again. You have to select to split into two files, and then you can name each file, tell it where you want it to go, and hit split into two files. And then you will have your two separate files in there with whatever you name them. And so that's an easy way to split everything up and get it in the right folder so that you don't have to figure out how to get it separated to get back into your opportunity. And then you just add it back into the opportunity the same way you did before. That's a different one. Hold on. So anything that is in the folder that you are trying to upload, so whichever folder it's in the Transact is where it's going to show up in the drop down in Command. So if it's in the under contract folder signed, it'll show up there. And if it's in the consultation folder signed, it'll show up there. So you just have to make sure that you're filing things into the correct folder in Transact in order for you to have them show up in the opportunity where they need to be. And that is pretty much how to do everything you'll need to do in Lone Wolf. I see we have a question in the chat. Okay. All right. On the Lone Wolf side, is there any questions that anyone has that we need to hit on while we're all here? Are you doing it from Gmail?
Mhm. Something and alerts here. If I am picking upload by email, it's giving me this box.
Yes, you have to copy that. That's the email address you're sending it to.
Then I do.
And then you go to your Gmail.
So whatever Gmail I use that one.
Whichever Gmail account you want to use, it doesn't matter which one. And so I'll go back over that up here. So if you are trying to send in a document by email, you're going to hit upload by email, and then you have to copy this email address. And then you'll go to your email, you'll hit compose, and then you're going to paste the email address as the email that you're sending it to. And then you'll upload the document as an attachment. And when you send it, it'll go into the transaction. It'll pop into it'll pop into not filed when it initially comes in. And then you can drag it to whichever folder you need it to go to. Yes, you have to send the email. Mhm. All right. Anything else that you guys have questions about before I show y'all how to download out of DocuSign?
I have a question. Well, I just want to make sure that I'm clear. If we create a template, we're able to assign our admin and TC access to those transactions without going in and setting them up separately, correct?
So yeah, but you will have to apply the template. So whenever you start the transaction, you'll hit these three buttons,
Mhm.
apply template, and then I would name it like admins or TC, whatever you want to call it. And then you have to apply the template before you get started with the transaction.
Okay, but it'll be those same static templates that I set up already, correct?
Yes.
And then is there anything additional or because I couldn't figure out how to get, I guess, to the admin side of Lone Wolf outside of connecting through command? So do they need to have access to Lone Wolf directly? Or does that email kind of give them access to
No,
get
so
into the
they
system?
won't have their own account if they're not an agent. But every time you add them to the transaction, they'll get access that way.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All righty. So now we're going to pop over to DocuSign. So you're going to go to rooms.docusign.com.
I sent one document for my client to sign. He opened it but did not sign. And when I tried to resend him for signature, it did not let. I could resend, but when he was opening, it was telling already certificate being issued or something and did not let him sign.
So Sasmita was saying that she had sent a signing to one of her clients. They had opened it but not signed it, and then she resent it and it wouldn't allow him. So if you're resending it, you'll have to delete the initial one you sent for him to be able to sign the new one.
Will we have to do that too if we change the information while they have it?
If they haven't signed it yet, you can edit it. If they've signed it and then you realize you have to change something, then you have to resend it. Yes.
But suppose three parties in that transaction, one have signed and one did not sign, but open did not sign. And I'm trying to resend your suggestion.
So you shouldn't, if you're resending it, you're restarting it. So you'll have to avoid the fact that other people have already signed it. If he has it and just didn't sign it, he'll just need to reopen it and sign it. You don't want to resend it because resending it is going to restart the whole process.
Did not sign. And when he tried to sign it, it happened in front of me. So he was present with his phone in front of me and it did not let him sign.
So transparently, unless I can see what happened, I can't tell you what happened on that because that's not something I've heard of happening to anyone before. But if you do resend it, it does restart everyone. So everyone will have to resign again. Okay, so when we are talking about downloading things from DocuSign, you only need to worry about the things that have not already been uploaded into Command. If it's in Command, it lives there. It's fine though. You'll be able to access it there. So this is just anything that you are keeping for record purposes that never closed. If you have supplemental documents that you hold on to but don't upload for compliance, you'll want to download those. If you do property management and have property management agreements saved in here, you'll want to get those downloaded. But anything that has been uploaded into Command and closed, you don't need to worry about those. So, but you can mass download the whole room without having to do it document by document. So under, and I chose one that doesn't have any documents in it. So give me just a minute. Alrighty, so in your room, you'll go to the document tab, and then you can just select all and hit this download button, and it downloads the whole room in one go without you having to do it document by document. And so you'll just hit that and you'll hit download. And then I suggest that you save them into your KW email Google Drive, because we have unlimited drive with our KW email. So you don't have to try to like save them all on your computer. You can save them all to your KW Drive and they'll all be in there. And that is an easy way to store them. And when they're all in one room, when you go to upload it, you can name the room the address. So you don't have to try to remember whatever random number it assigned it when it downloaded on your computer it was. There is not, from my understanding, and I've talked to a couple of different people about this, there's not a way to mass download your entire DocuSign if you're trying to like do everything in one go, but you can do each room in one go. So you're not having to go document by document by document. So that will save a lot of time on that. But just make sure that if it's anything that you think you'll need in the future, or if it's something that you were just kind of holding on to in case you ever need it to revisit it, you'll go ahead and want to grab that out. And then anything that you have currently in the works that you started in DocuSign, be sure to go ahead and upload all of that you have into your opportunity in Command so that you can have that in there when you are ready to upload for compliance. Anything that was not signed for that transaction, you'll want to go ahead and get started in Lone Wolf. And then instead of connecting that opportunity, because you'd have to make a second opportunity in order to connect it. You'll just want to download that and upload it into the opportunity that already has approved documents in there. Like if you have one where the listed folder is approved, but you haven't gotten all the under contract paperwork done yet, go ahead and stick with the one that already has approved documents in it so that our brokers aren't having to do double work to reapprove stuff they've already looked at. And then you'll upload the additional documents into the existing opportunity to submit for compliance. Any questions about any of that?
Leslie, I have a,
Yes.
so the API extension in the marketplace is no longer available?
That is available for a fee, yes. If you want to do that, you can. There is an API extension in Marketplace. You do have to pay for that. And I believe that they charge by the amount of documents you have coming in,
It's
but
just
I'm honestly not
$20.
very clear on that.
It's $19.
It's $19. It's less than I thought it was. So if you want to do it with the API, it is $19. Have you used that, Katrina?
Not yet, but I'm planning to transition this week.
Okay. I will say, depending on how many documents you have, I would verify how fast they're going to do that, because sometimes those API integrations work very slowly. I remember when we switched from Dotloop to DocuSign, we had one for the Market Center that downloaded everything, and it took like 2 months to get everything pulled over. And while the market center has a lot more documents than an individual agent will, just if you do a lot of transactions, I would check on the timeline for that, because if it's going to take longer than a week, you're not going to get everything pulled over. All right. Any other questions? Alrighty. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have anything that comes up, please reach out to me. If you haven't connected yet and you are needing help with that, I would be happy to set up some time with you to get that done. But other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. So thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Leslie.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.